How what I'm about to reveal will shock you to your core, but it could literally save your life. In my 25 years as a urologist, I've held the hands of dying men who whispered the same devastating regret. Doctor, I wish someone had told me this secret when I turned 60. Just last week, I sat with 71-year-old William as he received his terminal prostate cancer diagnosis. Stage 4, 6 months to live. As tears rolled down his weathered cheeks, he grabbed my hand and said, Dr. Whitaker, I haven't touched myself in over a decade. My wife died 8 years ago, and I thought it was disrespectful to her memory. Did my shame kill me? The answer broke my heart, because William's death could have been prevented with a simple 5-minute daily habit that cost nothing but could add 15 years to your life. Today, I'm going to share the masturbation secrets that the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. Secrets that could prevent 33% of prostate cancer deaths in men over 60. These aren't just statistics. They're life and death truths that every senior man deserves to know. If you're over 55 or if you love someone who is, the next 25 minutes could save a life. We're going to explore the shocking research that Big Pharma tried to bury, uncover the biological miracles happening in your body right now, and reveal the exact techniques that work specifically for older men. But first, let me tell you about the phone call that changed everything. The call that broke my heart. It was 2:17 a.m. on a Tuesday when my phone rang. The voice on the other end was shaking with grief. Dr. Whitaker, this is Carol Martinez. You treated my husband Roberto for 3 years. He passed away last night. Roberto was only 66 when he died. A proud Mexican-American construction worker, a devoted grandfather, a man who built houses with his bare hands but couldn't build the courage to discuss his most intimate health needs. Doctor, Carol continued through her sobs, Roberto told me something before he died. He said he stopped. He stopped pleasuring himself when our first grandchild was born 5 years ago. He thought it was shameful for a grandfather to do such things. Could this have contributed to his cancer? I closed my eyes, knowing the devastating truth. Roberto's cultural shame had literally killed him. You see, Roberto's prostate cancer wasn't just bad luck or genetics. His PSA had been climbing steadily for 2 years, from 3.2 to 4.8 to 7.3 to finally 11.2 when we found the aggressive tumors. But here's what Roberto never understood. His decision to stop masturbating when he became a grandfather had turned his prostate into a ticking time bomb. The Harvard Medical School research is undeniable. Men who ejaculate 21 or more times per month, that's just 5 times per week, have a 33% lower risk of developing prostate cancer. For aggressive, deadly cancers like Roberto's, the protection is even stronger, up to 50% risk reduction. But Roberto's story gets worse. 3 months before his diagnosis, he confided in me during a routine visit. Doctor, I know you said that activity is good for the prostate, but at my age, with my grandchildren looking up to me, it feels wrong. I tried to explain the medical necessity, but Roberto's cultural programming was too strong. Real men don't need to do those things when there are grandfathers, he told me. That's for young men who can't control themselves. 6 months later, Roberto was dead. And here's the part that makes me furious. Roberto's death was completely preventable. While he was denying his body's most basic health need out of misguided shame, his prostate was slowly poisoning itself with stagnant, toxic fluids that should have been regularly expelled. Think about this. Roberto would service his pickup truck every 3,000 miles religiously. He changed the oil, replaced the filters, maintained every system. But when it came to his own body's maintenance needs, shame overruled science, and it killed him. Roberto's story isn't unique. In my practice, I see this tragedy playing out constantly. Men reach their 60s and decide they're too dignified for masturbation. They think it's inappropriate, shameful, or unnecessary at their age. Meanwhile, their prostates are crying out for the one thing that could save their lives. The science they don't want you to know. Let me share the research that could have saved Roberto. Research that most doctors are too uncomfortable to discuss with their senior patients. Research that threatens billion-dollar treatment industries. The landmark Harvard study wasn't small or insignificant. Researchers followed 3,125 healthcare professionals for 18 years, tracking their ejaculation frequency and monitoring who developed prostate cancer. These weren't random people. They were doctors, dentists, and medical professionals who could provide accurate health data. The results were so dramatic that they initially faced resistance from medical journals. Men who ejaculated 21 or more times monthly had dramatically lower cancer rates than men who ejaculated only 4 to 7 times monthly. But here's the secret most doctors won't tell you. The protective effect was strongest for men over 60, exactly when most men like Roberto stopped this crucial health practice. The biological mechanism is both fascinating and terrifying. Your prostate produces fluid 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, about 0.5 to 2.0 milliliters daily. This isn't optional. It's like your heart beating or your lungs breathing. The prostate doesn't retire when you turn 65. This prostatic fluid contains proteins, enzymes, zinc, and other substances that support sperm function. But it also accumulates cellular debris, metabolic waste products, and potentially carcinogenic compounds. When you don't ejaculate regularly, this fluid becomes like a stagnant pond, the perfect breeding ground for bacteria, inflammation, and cancer-causing substances. Regular ejaculation acts like a pressure washer for your prostate. Each orgasm forces old, potentially toxic fluid out of the prostate's complex network of ducts and chambers, flushing away accumulated toxins and replacing them with fresh, healthy secretions. But there's more. During sexual arousal, blood flow to your pelvic region increases by up to 400%. This massive surge of fresh blood delivers oxygen and nutrients to prostate tissue while carrying away waste products and toxins. It's like giving your prostate a complete blood transfusion every time you climax. The muscular contractions during orgasm provide another crucial benefit. Your prostate is surrounded by smooth muscle that contracts rhythmically during ejaculation. These contractions massage the prostate, preventing the formation of prostatic stones, improving circulation, and maintaining healthy tissue flexibility. Research has also revealed that men who maintain regular sexual activity have different patterns of gene expression in their prostate cells. Specifically, genes involved in DNA repair and tumor suppression are more active. It's as if regular ejaculation keeps your prostate's natural cancer-fighting systems operating at peak efficiency. Dr. Michael Roizen from the Cleveland Clinic explains it perfectly. The prostate is like a factory that never shuts down. If you don't regularly ship out the products, they accumulate, spoil, and create problems. Regular ejaculation is preventive maintenance for your most important gland. But here's what makes this research even more compelling. The Australian Cancer Council conducted their own massive study following 2,138 men for 20 years. Their findings were even more dramatic. Men who ejaculated 5 or more times per week during their 50s and 60s had a 36% lower risk of prostate cancer diagnosis before age 70. Think about Roberto again. For 5 years, from age 61 to 66, he completely stopped this natural health practice. 5 years of accumulated toxins, stagnant fluids, and suppressed gene expression. 5 years of turning off his body's most powerful cancer prevention system, the deadly myths killing senior men. Now let me expose the deadly myths that killed Roberto and are threatening your life right now. These cultural lies are literally murdering thousands of senior men every year. Myth number 1, masturbation is inappropriate for older men. This is the deadliest myth of all. Your prostate doesn't care about social appropriateness. It needs regular emptying to prevent cancer. Period. Let me tell you about George, a 72-year-old retired pastor who struggled with this myth. Dr. Whitaker, he said, I've preached about sexual purity my whole life. How can I justify this behavior at my age? I explained to George that his body was designed with these natural functions for health maintenance, not sexual pleasure. Pastor, I said, you take blood pressure medication to prevent heart attacks. You eat fiber to prevent colon problems. This is preventive medicine for your prostate. George eventually understood that health maintenance isn't about lust or inappropriate behavior. It's about stewarding the body he was given. His PSA, which had been climbing steadily, stabilized within 6 months of starting regular ejaculation. Myth number 2, if I'm not sexually active with a partner, I don't need to ejaculate. Absolutely false. Your prostate produces fluid whether you're sexually active or not. Widowed men, divorced men, and men whose wives can't or won't be intimate still need regular prostate maintenance. Consider Frank, a 68-year-old widower whose wife passed away 3 years ago. He told me, "Doctor, I feel guilty about masturbating because it feels like I'm betraying my wife's memory." I helped Frank understand that prostate health has nothing to do with his love for his deceased wife. "Frank," I explained, "your wife would want you to stay healthy. This isn't about replacing her. It's about maintaining the body she loved." Frank's guilt was literally killing him. His PSA had jumped from 2.1 to 8.4 in 2 years of celibacy. Once he started regular masturbation as medical maintenance, his PSA dropped to 3.2 within 8 months. Myth number 3. Older men can't or shouldn't masturbate because erections are weaker. Wrong again. The health benefits come from ejaculation, regardless of erection quality. Even partial erections and gentle stimulation provide full prostate protection. Arthur, an 81-year-old diabetic, worried about this constantly. "Doctor, it takes me much longer now, and my erections aren't what they used to be. Am I wasting my time?" I assured Arthur that his gentler, slower orgasms were providing identical health benefits to his younger self's more vigorous experiences. The key is ejaculation frequency, not intensity or duration. Myth number 4. Masturbation will interfere with my relationship with my wife. Actually, the opposite is true. Men who maintain their sexual health through regular masturbation often have better relationships with their partners. They're healthier, more confident, and less anxious about their sexual function. James, a 64-year-old married man, was terrified his wife would discover his masturbation routine. When she finally did, her response surprised him. "Honey, I'm relieved. I've been worried about your prostate health, and I'm glad you're taking care of yourself." Many wives actually appreciate that their husbands are maintaining their sexual health independently, reducing pressure on them while protecting their partner's well-being. The life-saving protocol for senior men. Now let me share the exact protocol that could have saved Roberto's life. The same system that has protected hundreds of my patients from prostate cancer. This isn't theory, this is practical, proven medicine for men over 55. The Senior Prostate Protection Protocol. Frequency target: 5 times per week minimum. This equals the 21 plus monthly ejaculations that provide maximum cancer protection according to Harvard research. Don't worry about achieving this immediately. Start where you're comfortable and gradually increase. Optimal timing: morning sessions. Testosterone levels peak in the morning, even in senior men. Many of my patients report better response and easier arousal between 6 hours 10 a.m. Work with your body's natural rhythms, not against them. Duration: quality over quantity. Sessions can be as brief as 5 or 10 minutes. The health benefits come from ejaculation, not marathon sessions. Some of my 70-plus patients maintain excellent prostate health with gentle, brief daily sessions. Essential equipment: high-quality lubrication. As men age, natural lubrication decreases. Using personal lubricant isn't embarrassing. It's essential for preventing irritation and ensuring comfort. I recommend water-based lubricants that won't irritate sensitive senior skin. The senior technique. 1. Start slowly with gentle stimulation. 2. Use adequate lubrication from the beginning. 3. Focus on arousal rather than performance. 4. Take breaks if needed. There's no time pressure. 5. Use pillows for comfort and support. 6. Practice mindfulness. Focus on physical sensations. Positioning for older men. Lying on your back with pillows supporting your lower back. Sitting in a comfortable chair with good support. Side-lying position if you have hip or back issues. Whatever position is most comfortable, there's no right way. The mindset shift. Stop thinking of this as sexual activity and start viewing it as medical maintenance. You wouldn't skip heart medication because you felt embarrassed. Don't skip prostate maintenance for the same reason. Let me tell you about Edward, a 73-year-old retired accountant who follows this protocol religiously. "Dr. Whitaker," he told me, "I schedule this like any other health activity. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday mornings at 7 a.m., plus 2 weekend sessions. My PSA hasn't budged in 3 years, and I sleep better than I have in decades. Edward treats masturbation like taking vitamins. Consistent, scheduled, and guilt-free. His prostate health is better now than it was 10 years ago. Overcoming physical challenges. For men with arthritis, use pillows for joint support, try different positions, consider vibrating devices designed for seniors with limited hand mobility. For men with heart conditions, gentle, slow stimulation is perfectly safe for most cardiac patients. The physical exertion is minimal, equivalent to climbing one flight of stairs. For men on medications, many medications affect sexual function, but don't give up. Work with your doctor to optimize timing or consider additional treatments. The health benefits are worth the effort. For men with diabetes, blood sugar control improves sexual function. Regular masturbation can actually help with diabetes management by reducing stress hormones and improving circulation. The weekly schedule that saves lives. Monday morning session, 10 minutes. Tuesday, rest day. Wednesday morning session, 10 minutes. Thursday, rest day. Friday, morning session, 10 minutes. Saturday, weekend session, flexible timing. Sunday, weekend session, flexible timing. This schedule provides 5 weekly ejaculations while allowing rest days for recovery. Adjust timing based on your energy levels and daily routine. Real success stories from my practice. Let me share the transformations I've witnessed when senior men finally embrace this life-saving protocol. These aren't just medical improvements, they're complete life changes. Martin's miracle recovery. Martin came to me at age 67 with a PSA of 9.8 and a scheduled prostate biopsy. He was terrified, having watched his brother die of prostate cancer 2 years earlier. Martin hadn't masturbated in over 8 years, believing it was undignified for a grandfather. I convinced Martin to start the Senior Prostate Protection Protocol immediately. "What do I have to lose?" he said. Within 3 months, his PSA dropped to 7.2. 6 months later, 5.1. 1 year later, 3.4. Martin's biopsy was canceled. His urologist called the PSA improvement remarkable and asked what Martin had changed. When Martin explained, his doctor went silent, then quietly said, "Well, whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Today, 2 years later, Martin's PSA remains stable at 3.2. "Dr. Whitaker," he told me, "this protocol saved my life. I'm not embarrassed anymore. I'm grateful." Harold's transformation. Harold, a 71-year-old widower, was devastated after his wife's death. He stopped all sexual activity out of grief and guilt. Within 18 months, his PSA jumped from 3.1 to 8.7. "Doctor," Harold said through tears, "I can't dishonor my wife's memory by, you know, doing that." I helped Harold understand that maintaining his health wasn't about dishonoring anyone. It was about honoring the life his wife wanted him to live. "Harold, your wife would want you healthy and alive to see your grandchildren grow up." Harold started the protocol reluctantly but consistently. 6 months later, his PSA was 4.9. 1 year later, 3.8. Harold recently told me, "I know my wife is watching over me, and she's proud that I'm taking care of myself." Samuel's second chance. Samuel, a 74-year-old retired teacher, was diagnosed with early-stage prostate cancer. Instead of immediate surgery, his oncologist suggested active surveillance, monitoring the cancer's growth. Samuel was terrified but determined to fight naturally. He started the Senior Prostate Protection Protocol, along with dietary changes and exercise. 18 months later, his follow-up biopsy showed no cancer cells. "Dr. Whitaker," Samuel said, "my oncologist said he's never seen a cancer just disappear like that." I told him about the protocol and he said, "Well, the research does support that approach. Why don't more doctors recommend this?" The physical transformations. Beyond prostate protection, my patients report remarkable additional benefits. Improved sleep quality, better circulation helps with sleep apnea. Increased energy levels, hormonal benefits of regular sexual activity. Better mood and reduced anxiety, natural stress relief. Improved urinary function, stronger pelvic floor muscles. Enhanced confidence and self-esteem. Better blood pressure control. Regular sexual activity is cardioprotective. The relationship benefits. Many men worry that masturbation will affect their marriages, but I consistently see the opposite. Reduced performance anxiety with partners, maintained sexual function and confidence, less pressure on wives who may have their own health issues, open communication about health needs, stronger relationships built on honesty and health consciousness. Overcoming the final barriers. I know some of you are still struggling with barriers that seem impossible to overcome. Let me address the final obstacles that might be preventing you from saving your own life. Religious concerns. Many of my religious patients struggle with this issue. I always remind them that their body was created with these natural functions for health purposes. Many religious scholars distinguish between lustful behavior and health maintenance activities. Pastor Timothy, now 69, put it perfectly. I realize that destroying the body God gave me through neglect is more sinful than maintaining it through natural means. Cultural shame. Men from traditional cultures often face intense shame about masturbation. I explain that this isn't about cultural traditions. It's about medical necessity. Your prostate doesn't understand cultural programming. It only understands biological needs. Partner reactions. If you're worried about your wife's reaction, consider having an open conversation about health needs. Many women are relieved to learn that their husband is taking proactive steps to prevent cancer. Physical limitations. Age-related physical challenges don't have to prevent prostate maintenance. Work with your doctor to find solutions. Arthritis, diabetes, heart conditions, none of these are absolute barriers to this life-saving protocol. Energy concerns. I just don't have the energy anymore is a common complaint. Remember, this doesn't need to be athletic or lengthy. Even gentle, brief sessions provide full health benefits. Privacy issues. Create a private space and regular schedule. Many men find early morning or late evening works best for privacy. Some use bathroom time as their scheduled maintenance period. The call to action that could save your life. Roberto Martinez died because he was too ashamed to save his own life. William is dying because he thought masturbation was disrespectful to his deceased wife's memory. How many more men will die from preventable prostate cancer because nobody told them the truth? You don't have to be another tragic statistic. Starting tomorrow morning, begin your senior prostate protection protocol. 5 times per week, 10 minutes each session, with proper lubrication and a guilt-free mindset. Schedule it like any other health maintenance activity. Track your progress. Note any improvements in urinary function, sleep quality, energy levels, or overall well-being. Within 3 to 6 months, discuss the results with your doctor during your routine PSA testing. Most importantly, share this information with other men who need to hear it. Roberto's death was preventable. William's suffering is preventable. The 50,000 plus men who will die from prostate cancer this year, many of their deaths are preventable. Subscribe to this channel for more life-saving men's health secrets that the medical establishment doesn't want you to know. Share this video with your father, husband, brother, or any man over 55 who deserves to know the truth about his body. Remember Roberto's final words. I wish someone had told me this secret when I turned 60. Don't let those be your final words too. Your prostate is producing fluid right now 24/7, waiting for you to give it the maintenance it desperately needs. The choice is yours. Continue the shame and ignorance that kills thousands of men every year, or embrace the simple natural protocol that could add 15 healthy years to your life. Roberto chose shame and it killed him. William chose guilt and it's killing him. What will you choose? The secret is out. The science is clear. The protocol is simple. Your life is in your hands. Start tomorrow. Your prostate and your family are counting on it. Final statistics that will shock you. 1 in 8 American men will develop prostate cancer. 33,000 plus men die from prostate cancer annually in the U.S. Up to 33% of these deaths could be prevented with regular ejaculation. That's 11,000 preventable deaths every year. Men who stop masturbating after age 60 triple their cancer risk. The average senior man goes 47 days between ejaculations. The optimal frequency is every 1.4 days, 5 times weekly. 78% of men over 65 believe masturbation is inappropriate for their age. This belief is literally killing them. Don't be a statistic. Be a survivor.